Welcome back to the channel. This is the V-Twin Racing channel. Steve here. Hey, we're going to piddle around with the OG a little bit today. Finally got it back home. First off, I want to say thanks to everybody that watches, subscribes, likes, comments. If you haven't, please consider it. Helps out the channel a lot. And yeah. So let's have a look at a few things that we're going to do today. As you can tell, it's pretty damn cold. I got the heaters running in here, but today we're going to piddle around with a few things. So I have a Novi stack. We're going to put that on with the help of a Makuni adapter. I got this from Joe's Parts. Also, we're going to be redoing some of the venting, crankcase venting on the bike, and we're going to change out these rockers. I also got these from Joe. I want to say that also that there's going to be a lot of things for sale off the silver bike on Marketplace. So if you guys see something that you're interested in, I've already got a few things going out here, I think this week. But we're going to have a lot more parts for sale. As I take care of some of this stuff, I'm going to be putting some of it up for sale. One of them is going to be the Barnett Scorpion clutch. The second primary cover that I had Joe modify for me with the access window, so you can turn your engine over without putting it in fifth gear and jerking on the back wheel, which I'm not a fan of. I don't like it. It's a pain in the butt, but I have a second one that I was going to use for the other bike build that I'm no longer doing. So reality is, this is it, the OG. That's all we got. It's what we're going to have. I'm going to save some of the stuff for spare parts. Some of it I'm going to sell off. But basically, I'll be able to build a spare, the majority of a spare engine for the OG, and I'm simply going to index race this next year. So one of the things that I see some chatter on the internet about is the fact that Rockingham, which is 45 minutes from my house, is not going to run a motorcycle bracket program next year. So in order to test for index racing, I got to find a quarter-mile track, which is pretty tough to do around here. I don't know how many of them are left besides Rockingham. Maybe they'll have some test and tune days. I can get down there on my off weekends when I'm not working. But anyway, let's get into a few of these things. Okay, so you guys can see this. I don't even remember where it came from. It came off eBay. Actually, I think Tommy found these. No, I did. I found it on eBay. It's a pretty nice little velocity stack. It's not too bad. It's definitely not a Novi, whatever the hell that thing's called. But can't remember what I paid for this. 50, 60 bucks. 50, 60 bucks. And it Jesus Christ. Anyway, I don't have to worry about it falling off, I guess, right? Get all the set screws out of there. I don't remember what I paid for this thing. It might have been $100 bucks. It's a pretty nice little billet. I might have to grab a hammer or something. Knock this thing off of here. Get my little plastic pecker. Some people have trouble with these things falling off. Mine not so much. Might be that C45 fuel that rotted it on there. Grab a rag real quick. All right. But yeah, that's it. That's actually a pretty nice little velocity stack. It's got three set screws on it, which I'll put back in there. This fits 42s, 45s, and 48s. They all have the same size thing out here. So I'm going to put the set screws back in this, and I'm going to hang on to this because a little bit of a spoiler alert. We're at some point, and I probably should use that frame on this bike, but I'm probably not going to. But I have a 92. I'm calling it a lightweight frame because it doesn't have all this cast iron in it. We're going to build another. We're going to build another budget bike at some point. So keeping this stuff around, some of this stuff I'm going to hang on to because I might be able to use it again, which most definitely will be that. Excuse me, that velocity stack, because it's something I won't have to buy again. And this, yeah, let's see, there it is. That's pretty nice. No, what do we do here? That guy right there. There we go. Okay. Use your velocity stack to orient your bracket. Where's that goddamn light again? There it is. Okay. Make sure this thing's seated nice. Okay. Now, something I got to do with this for sure. Wanting to run some index classes at AMRA next year. I need to jet it and set the timing for optimal quarter mile performance, because this bike is wholeheartedly set up for 8th mile racing. So when I order a new rear sprocket for 520 chain, I'm gonna have to we're gonna have to maybe go down the tooth on the back. There it is. Okay. I've had this on here before. I think I ran it at Cash Days, which is where my that's where I ate that excuse me, ate that spark plug up. I still haven't decided what was the cause of that, but that ain't right. Okay, so we're going to try this a different approach. 2 out of 3 bolts line up. This thing only fits on here one way. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll just put it on the there it is. Okay. Start these bolts. Start these bolts in here. this adapter. Okay, that goes on like so. And to state the obvious, I'm gonna have all this off of here this winter, this carburetor, everything, because I'm also going to clean it. I'm gonna clean the carburetor. For storage this winter, I need to back the rocker boxes off, get spring pressure off of them, or get the pressure off the valve springs, so it can set like that this winter. I'm gonna buy a. I'm gonna use it. Well, we'll go get into that in a minute. Let's see. I'm gonna use the. I'm gonna continue running the Dyna 2000i ignition on this, but I'm going to add. Let's see. If you're familiar with Dyna products, it's going to be it's a DRL 400, which is a two-step. So I can launch this bike off of a two-step. Honestly, if I had the money, I would probably put a slider in this thing and just start having Misty tow me back, because no more than I'm going to ride it next year. I could leave off of a button on a two-step. This thing is a 66-inch wheelbase. It's pretty short. There's that. It's pretty short, so it'd probably be a handful. But if I'm looking for consistency, that'll probably be the way to go. Okay, there it is. Novi Stack. Novi Stack on a Mikuni carburetor. Not too shabby, not too shabby. So that's part of the combination I'm gonna run next year. I'm going to, let's see, I've got the 520 chain. I'm gonna take the front sprocket like I did with the other bike, but this is a 19. Okay, so this is a, I think this is a 19, and that might be a 20. I think it's a 20. The other bike had a 22, which I'm not gonna reuse, but I gotta buy a new sprocket for the back, and I'm gonna have this one machined down to fit the 520 chain, which really the only difference is this is thinner this way, and it's lighter, makes it lighter. Lighter sprocket, lighter chain, less rotating weight, it's a good deal. We're gonna get this thing up on lift, or up on a jack underneath, rather, so that we can pull the wheel bearings out of the back and spec out some worldwide bearings, ceramic wheel bearings, and then we'll do the same thing to the front. We'll drop the front wheel out, and we're gonna get some, good God, man. We're gonna get some wheel bearings for the front of it as well. So, ceramic wheel bearings, 520 chain, Novi Stack, some of this other stuff. Not real sure how I feel about that. Now I can't reach my hand up in there to get to anything, but aside from this right here, it ain't a bad deal. I'll probably just take it off and repaint it. It's all black. this battery, this is an OEM Harley battery, pretty heavy. I'm going to replace it with that little thing right there that come off the silver bike, that thing that weighs about, you know, I mean, I'm literally holding this with one finger here and there's nothing to it. So I'm gonna put that battery in the bike. We're gonna go to a lightweight battery. I ran this bike for 2 seasons with the taillight set up, and I'm not sure what happened here, but that's all got to go away. Fix that. Maybe I'll figure out some way to fasten a, you know what, I don't know. I'll probably just fix the damn thing right instead of zip tying it and taping it. That, fix that. This deal here, Tommy done a good job of fabricating this, but I wanted to put Zeus fasteners on it, not so much bolt it and zip and pop rivet it to the frame. So I got to drill all this out, see what's under here, and I don't know what this is, and this stuff probably go. Again, probably will either make another one myself or take a sander to this and get all that off of there and make it plain black. But it blends in fairly decent with that fender. Anyway, so I got some work to do on that. I got to fix the tail light. I'm going to change this chain, sprockets. I'm going to put new ceramic wheel bearings in front and back. That right there, shift light. So I got to make some kind of a bracket to mount that up here on the column, right? And take it off this fairing because this thing shakes and rattles, and I gotta replace a missing bolt right there. Probably, I don't know, I might buy a MPS shift button mount bracket for this and move this shifter over to a handlebar mounted bracket. I don't know. That's been there since we started. That's my little homemade shifter button. It works okay, I guess, but, and there's some of the stuff I'm gonna rewire, like the shifter wires. I think at the season opener at Farmington, I had problems with some of where I soldered this together coming apart. Probably have to do something with some of that. This Pingle, it's a good Pingle, petcock, right? This is a good one. However, I have a, oh, where's it at? There it is, the old Guzzler. So since I have it, I might as well put that on there and upgrade that a little bit. Nicer flowing deal. But yeah, I got a few things to do. I may put the billet triple trees on it. Thing of it is I'll have to relocate this air tank, this bottle, to back here somewhere, which is not a big deal. But the bike is only 66 inches, and if I tuck this front end even more, which them billet trees will do, that's gonna make this bike 65-inch wheelbase. I ain't scared, I can ride it, not a big deal. So there's that. But yeah, we got a few things, you know, to get this ready for its index bracket duty next year. Okay, so that was just a little bit of some of the stuff that we got to get done on the bike this year, or this winter rather. Again, a lot of the silver bike stuff is going to be for sale I already have the bottom end on Marketplace. I'm going to sell the clutch. I'm going to sell it. I don't know if I'm going to sell that extra primary cover. I might just save that for the budget build. Possibly I have somebody lined up to buy the old front end and the wheels and stuff off the silver bike. If I don't sell that stuff, again, it'll end up on that budget build. I like using quotation marks. So, yeah, I didn't really have anything all that important to talk about today, but I really don't have that much important to talk about today. I just wanted to catch up with you all. I'm waiting we're in a cold spell right now down here in North Carolina, so I haven't been doing too much outside, but the Mustang, my Mustang, I'm going to be working on it quite a bit this winter, as long as we're in the 40s and 50s. Try to get it ready to go, but I've got some things to straighten up on this bike and get it ready for next year. I'm not going to go, I don't really need to spend a ton of money on it. The majority of it's going to be in the wheel bearings and the rear sprocket. And I think the front sprocket's about cost me about, last one I had done was almost $100 to get it turned down and re-beveled all the teeth. That's a lot of work on that. But they did a really nice job. It's very clean. I don't know what I did with it. It's around here somewhere, the sprocket I took off the silver bike. Problem with it is it's way too big for a sprocket. So I would have to buy a considerably larger rear sprocket to compensate for that front one on this bike. So I know what gear combination works on this. It's been, let's see, I've ran the same exact gear ratio combination in the quarter mile. I'm wanting to say one time at Rockingham for, it was either I think it was the All Harley World Shootout. Was it not this season, but the season before we ran around at Rockingham? Hell, we ran 8th mile there. What am I thinking? Maybe I haven't. I ran a 50 and a I don't know. The sprockets are $100 a piece. I hate to cut the chain and buy the wrong one, so I'm going to dig into that a little bit. One of the other things I'd like to do is maybe put a 30-tooth front motor shaft sprocket, right? Instead of the 35 that's on there. And just the sprocket itself is like $410, so it's not very likely that I'll do that, but eventually I'll change some of these things, make them better, make a difference in this bike. For the time being, I'm going to hang on to the Super D on the intake and even possibly the BFH heads, the 07 BFH heads. Not sure. I may end up selling all that stuff. I don't know. At this point, it's not highly valued in my situation, so I may end up selling the stuff. I'm not going to give it away, but I may end up selling that stuff. So there's that. But I want to say thanks to you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't, please consider subscribing, because 75% of my views are for new viewers, not returning viewers. And like only 2 to 3% of my views are from subscribers. So it's free to subscribe. You just have to start a YouTube account. It doesn't cost anything. So it's free to subscribe. If you're watching on your cell phone, start a YouTube account. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. It helps the channel out a lot. You guys don't even know. But again, thanks for watching. Have a good one.